Captain Veltar felt his forelegs shake as another explosion rocked the gentle current. The research ship groaned around him, metal bending in ways it was never meant to bend. His large black eyes darted across the control panels, watching as system after system turned red. "Captain, the main engine is completely dead," said his chief engineer, Nixara. Her thin arms moved quickly over her controls, but Veltar could see the fear in her movements. "The secondary engines are failing too. We have maybe 6 hours of life support left." Veltar's antennae twitched with worry. They had been studying the gas giant's upper atmosphere when the engines suddenly exploded. The gentle current was now drifting helplessly through space, far from any major shipping lanes. The nearest Centauri peacekeeping fleet base was 3 days away, even at full speed. "Send out a distress signal," Veltar ordered. "Use all frequencies. Someone has to hear us." As Nixara worked on the signal, Veltar looked out at the swirling storms of the gas giant below them. His people, the Zephyrians, were explorers and scientists. They had been mapping this system for months, taking careful notes about the planets and moons. It was peaceful work, the kind his species loved. They never expected danger in such a quiet corner of space, but space was never truly safe. Even here, raiders sometimes appeared. The thought made Veltar's stomach turn cold. 3 star systems away, Commander Lisa Hayes was drinking coffee in her captain's chair when the signal came through. The Iron Wolf was on a deep space patrol, checking the outer edges of human territory. It was boring work, but someone had to do it. "Commander, I'm picking up a distress signal," said Communications Officer Kate Sullivan. She looked up from her station with surprise. "It's not in any human language. The computer is trying to translate it now." Lisa set down her coffee and walked over to Kate's station. "Put it through the speakers." The bridge filled with strange clicking and whistling sounds. After a few seconds, the computer's translation began. "This is Captain Veltar of the research. Vessel Gentle Current. Our engines have failed. We are drifting near the 4th planet of the Kepler 442 system. Life support failing. Any ship in range, please help us." The bridge went quiet. Lisa looked around at her crew. In all their years of space travel, they had never heard an alien distress call. Earth's first contact protocols were clear. Report any alien signals to headquarters and wait for orders. "Do not engage." "Commander," said Tactical Officer Jake Morrison. "Sensors show 3 ships moving toward that position. They're not responding to the distress call. Ship design matches known Krathen raiders." Lisa felt her jaw tighten. The Krathen were bad news. They were slavers and killers who attacked anyone they thought was weak. If they reached the alien ship first? "How long until those raiders reached the distress signal location?" Lisa asked. 2 hours, 17 minutes, Jake replied. "And how long would it take us to get there?" Jake worked his controls quickly. "If we push the engines hard, we could be there in 90 minutes. Lisa thought about her orders. She thought about the aliens. On that ship, waiting for help that might never come. She thought about the raiders closing in on them. Finally, she made her choice. "All hands, battle stations," she announced over the ship's speakers. "Set course for the Kepler 442 system, maximum speed. We have a rescue mission." "Chief Engineer." Ryan Carter's voice came over the speakers from the engine room. "Commander, are you sure about this?" "We're not supposed to make contact with aliens without permission from Earth Command." "I'm sure," Lisa said firmly. "There are people in trouble, and we're the only ones who can help them. That's enough for me." The Iron Wolf turned toward the Kepler 442 system and jumped to faster-than-light speed. The crew prepared for what would be humanity's first contact with an alien species on the gentle current. Captain Veltar watched his screens with growing fear. His ship's long-range sensors had detected the 3 raider ships approaching. The Krathen were known throughout the galaxy for their cruelty. They would take his crew as slaves and sell his ship for scrap? "Captain," said Navigator Telenara, "I'm detecting another ship. It's coming from a different direction, moving very fast." Veltar's antennae perked up with hope. "Is it a Centauri patrol ship?" Telenara studied her readings, her face confused. No, sir. The engine signature is completely unknown. And the ship? It's moving faster than it should be possible with that type of drive system. What do you mean? The computer says it's using fusion engines, but it's moving at speeds that should only be possible with antimatter drives. It doesn't make sense. Veltar felt a chill run through his body. Unknown aliens with impossible technology heading straight for them. Were they being rescued, or were they about to face something even worse than the Krathen Raiders? The mysterious ship dropped out of faster-than-light speed near the gas giant. Veltar's sensors immediately began scanning it, and what they found made his blood run cold. The ship was huge, nearly twice the size of a Krathen Raider. Its hull was covered in thick armor plating that looked like it could survive a direct hit from a plasma cannon. Weapon ports lined its sides, more guns than Veltar had ever seen on a single ship. This was not a rescue vessel. This was a warship. "Captain," Telenara whispered, "the ship is sending us a message." "Put it through," Veltar said. Though every instinct told him to run, a new voice filled the bridge. Speaking in words the translation computer struggled to understand. "Unknown vessel. This is Commander Lisa Hayes of the Earthship Iron Wolf. We received your distress call. Are you in need of assistance?" Earthship. Veltar's mind raced. Earth was listed in the galactic databases as a Class 12 death world, completely uninhabitable. The survey teams had concluded that nothing could possibly evolve there and survive. The planet was too violent, too dangerous, too hostile to life, but here was a ship claiming to be from Earth, armed like a dreadnought and moving with impossible speed. Veltar realized that either the galactic databases were wrong, or his rescue had just become something far more terrifying than his original problem. "Respond to them," he ordered, his voice shaking. "Tell them ... tell them we accept their help." As the words left his mouth, Veltar wondered if he had just made the biggest mistake of his life. Commander Lisa Hayes watched the tactical display as the Iron Wolf approached the alien ships. What she saw made her blood boil. 3 Krathen Raider vessels had surrounded the damaged research ship. Bright flashes showed they were already firing on the helpless aliens. "Jake, what's the situation?" Lisa asked her tactical officer. Jake Morrison studied his screens with cold focus. "The Raiders have disabled the alien ship's weapons and engines. They're using low-power shots to keep them alive but helpless. Classic slaver tactics, Commander. They want the crew breathing so they can sell them." Lisa felt her hands form into fists. She had read the reports about Krathen Raiders. They were cowards who only attacked ships that couldn't fight back. They captured crews to sell as slaves and stripped ships for parts. The galaxy seemed to tolerate them because they mostly stayed in the outer systems. Well, they had picked the wrong day to mess with innocent people. "Amy, target the Raider ships," Lisa ordered. "I want clean shots that won't risk hitting the alien vessel." Weapons Officer Amy Foster's fingers danced across her controls. "Railguns are charged and ready, Commander. The Raiders are using old-style plasma shields. Our kinetic rounds will punch right through them." "Good. Jake, are we close? Enough for them to see us clearly?" "Yes, ma'am. All 3 Raider ships have us on their sensors now." Lisa activated the ship's communication system and spoke in her calmest voice. "Krathen vessels, this is Commander Lisa Hayes of the Earthship Iron Wolf. You will cease your attack on the research vessel immediately and withdraw from this system." The response came quickly, filled with harsh laughter. "Earthship? There is no such thing, human. Earth is a dead rock." "Nice. Try with the fake name, but we saw you coming. Your little patrol ship won't save these bugs. Leave now or join them in our cargo hold." Lisa smiled, but it was not a nice smile. "Amy, show them what an Earthship can do." The Iron Wolf's main railgun fired once. The magnetic coils accelerated a tungsten rod to 20% the speed of light. The projectile crossed the distance between ships in less than a second and punched through the lead Raider shields like they were made of paper. The rod tore through the ship's hull, engine core, and life support systems before exiting out the other side. The Raider ship exploded in a ball of bright flame on the gentle current. Captain Veltar watched the display with his mouth hanging open. The unknown Earthship had just destroyed a Krathen raider with a single shot. The weapon hadn't even looked like an energy beam. It was just something moving very, very fast. "Captain," Navigator Telenara whispered, "their weapon just punched a hole clean through that ship. I've never seen anything like it." The remaining 2 raider ships immediately turned toward the Iron Volf, their plasma cannons charging. Captain Zekmuth of the 2nd raider ship opened a channel. "You got lucky with that shot, whoever you are. Let's see how you handle 2 of us at once." Amy Foster didn't wait for orders. The Iron Volf's secondary guns opened fire, sending streams of smaller railgun rounds toward both raiders. The projectiles moved too fast for the raider ships to dodge. They struck the plasma cannon mounts on both vessels, destroying the weapons before they could fire. "Their main guns are down," Amy reported. "Should I finish them?" "Disable their engines first," Lisa said. "I want to ask them some questions." 2 more precise shots crippled the raiders' drive systems. The ships drifted helplessly, their crews screaming threats and curses over the radio. Jake Morrison worked his console and smiled. "Commander, I'm reading panic on both ships. Their crews are trying to abandon ship." "Let them go," Lisa said. "But first, send a message to their home base. Tell them what happens when someone attacks innocent people in human space." Chief Engineer Ryan Carter's voice came from the engine room. "Commander, the alien research ship is hailing us. They want to talk." Lisa straightened her uniform and activated the main viewer. The screen showed the bridge of the alien ship, and Lisa got her first clear look at an actual alien. Captain Veltar was tall and thin, with 4 legs that ended in delicate hooves. His skin was pale green and covered in fine scales that shifted color in the light. Large black eyes dominated his face, and 2 thin antennae moved constantly above his head. He looked fragile, like a strong wind might break him. "Commander Hayes," Veltar said, his voice shaking, "I am Captain Veltar of the research vessel Gentle Current. We thank you for your help, but I must ask, are you really from Earth?" "Yes, we are," Lisa replied. "Born and raised on good old Earth dirt." "Why does that surprise you?" Veltar's antennae twitched nervously. "Because Earth is listed in our databases as uninhabitable. The survey teams concluded that nothing could evolve there. The gravity is too strong, the atmosphere too thick, the weather too violent. Even the plants and animals would be deadly to most galactic species." Lisa felt a strange pride hearing that. "Earth can be tough, but it's home. We've learned to handle whatever it throws at us. Handle it?" Telenara spoke up from her station. "Commander Hayes, your ship just destroyed 3 Krathen raiders in under 2 minutes. The Krathen are considered some of the most dangerous fighters in this part of the galaxy." Jake Morrison laughed from his station. "Those guys, they fight. Like they're afraid of getting hurt? Real combat is a lot messier than that." The aliens on the screen looked at each other with wide eyes. Amy Foster leaned forward in her chair. "Commander, should I send a boarding party to secure those disabled raiders? We don't want them calling for backup." "Good idea. Take a security team and make sure they can't cause any more trouble." As Amy left the bridge, Lisa turned back to the aliens. "Captain Veltar, what's your ship's condition? Do you need medical help or emergency repairs?" "Yes, we have several injured crew members. Our life support is failing, and our engines are completely destroyed." "But Commander Hayes, I must warn you. If word spreads that humans are real and active in space, it will change everything. The Galactic Council has operated for thousands of years on the assumption that Deathworld species either die out or destroy themselves." Lisa raised an eyebrow. "Deathworld species?" "Species from planets like Earth, worlds so dangerous that survival requires constant violence and aggression. The Council believes such species are too unstable for galactic civilization." Ryan Carter's voice came over the speakers. "Commander, I've got the alien ship's technical specs from their computers. These people are amazing engineers, but their stuff is built like jewelry instead of tools. Pretty, but it'll break if you look at it wrong." Lisa stood up from her chair. "Captain Veltar, we're going to help you repair your ship and get your people medical attention. Then we'll escort you to the nearest safe port. After that. Well, I think it's time the galaxy learned that humans don't destroy ourselves. We protect others. As the Iron Wolf moved closer to the gentle current, both crews prepared for humanity's first real contact with galactic civilization. Neither side knew they were about to change the balance of power in the galaxy forever. Dr. Ben Parker carefully adjusted the medical bay's gravity settings as the first injured. Zephyrion was brought aboard the Iron Wolf. The alien was unconscious, his thin body barely weighing as much as a human child. Ben had seen the readouts. From the alien ship, these beings lived in gravity less than 1/4 of Earth normal. Easy now, Ben told the medical team carrying the stretcher. Their bones are hollow like bird bones. Too much pressure and we'll crush them. The Zephyrians. Breathing was quick and shallow. Ben watched the alien's chest rise and fall in rapid movements, like a frightened animal. He checked his scanner readings and frowned. The alien's blood pressure was dropping fast. The atmosphere in their ship is much thinner than ours, Ben muttered to himself, and the oxygen content is lower too. He quickly adjusted the medical bay's air mixture, making it lighter and easier for the alien to breathe. As he worked, Ben realized something incredible. These aliens were perfectly adapted for a gentle, easy world. Their delicate bones meant they never had to deal with high gravity. Their weak hearts meant they never had to pump blood against strong pressure. Everything about them said they came from a planet that was kind to life. Earth was the exact opposite. Every human system was built to survive in a world that constantly tried to kill them. 3 hours later, Ben had stabilized all 5 injured Zephyrians. As he checked on his patients, Captain Veltar entered the medical bay. The alien captain moved slowly, clearly struggling with the Iron Wolf's gravity, even though Ben had reduced it as much as possible. "Dr. Parker," Veltar said, his voice weak, "how are my people?" "They'll live," Ben replied. "But I have to ask, how do you survive space travel when you're this fragile?" "Even a small accident could kill you," Veltar's antennae drooped. "We are very careful. We avoid dangerous areas. We have shields and safety systems for everything. Most species in the galaxy are like us, Doctor. We learned long ago that violence only leads to destruction." Ben shook his head in amazement. "Where I come from, if you're not tough enough to handle some violence, you don't survive to have children." On the bridge, Communications Officer Kate Sullivan sat next to Navigator Telenara, working on improving their translation systems. The two women had been talking for hours, and Kate was learning incredible things about the galaxy. "So there are really thousands of different alien species?" Kate asked. Telenara nodded, her large eyes bright with enthusiasm. "The Galactic Council represents 47 major species and hundreds of smaller ones. We have been at peace for over 3,000 Earth years." "How do you keep peace with so many different people?" "Simple," Telenara explained. "We avoid conflict. When there is a problem between species, we talk until we find a solution that makes everyone happy. We have learned that violence never solves anything." Kate thought about human history. What about criminals? Pirates like those Krathan raiders? We let the peacekeeping fleet handle them. They use non-lethal weapons to disable criminal ships. Then the criminals are sent to rehabilitation centers where they learn to live peacefully. Rehabilitation centers? Kate couldn't hide her surprise. What if they don't want to be rehabilitated? Telenara looked confused. Why would anyone choose to be violent when they could choose to be peaceful? Violence is wasteful and dangerous. Peaceful beings live longer, happier lives. Kate stared at the alien woman, trying to understand how someone could be so naive. In her experience, some people chose violence because they enjoyed it or because they thought it gave them power over others. The idea that all criminals could be taught to be nice seemed impossible. "Telenara," Kate said carefully, "what do your databases say about Earth and humans?" The Zephyrian's expression grew sad. "Earth was surveyed by the Hegemony Science Council about 400 years ago. They found a Class 12 death world with impossible conditions. Gravity 4 times galactic standard. Atmospheric pressure that would crush most species. Weather patterns that included deadly storms, floods, fires, and freezing temperatures. That doesn't sound so bad, Kate said. It gets worse. The survey team found that the dominant life forms were all predators. They reported creatures called bears that could kill most galactic species with a single blow. Ocean predators called sharks with teeth designed for tearing flesh. Flying predators called eagles that hunted from the sky. Kate laughed. You should see what we did to those predators. We turned wolves into pet dogs, we ride horses for fun, we keep sharks in aquariums to look at them. Telenara's face went pale green. Domesticated apex predators? Sure, humans are pretty good at making friends with things that want to eat us. Meanwhile, in the ship's brig, Security Chief Matt Rhodes sat across from the captured Krathan Raider captain. The reptilian alien was twice the size of a human, with thick scales and sharp claws. According to the galactic databases, Krathan were considered some of the most dangerous beings in known space. The alien was shaking. Look, Matt said in a calm voice, I just want to ask you a few questions. Why were you attacking that research ship? The Krathan captain, who called himself Sektar, pressed himself against the back wall of his cell. Stay away from me, Deathworlder. I know what your kind does to prisoners. Matt raised an eyebrow. What do you think we do? Torture, murder. You probably eat your enemies. Sektar's voice cracked with fear. Everyone knows Deathworld species are insane killers. We don't eat people, Matt said patiently. And I'm not going to hurt you. I just want information. Lies. You destroyed 3 ships in minutes. Your weapons cut through our shields like they were nothing. No peaceful species has weapons like that. Matt thought about this. Well, you're right about the weapons. But we only use them on people who attack innocent civilians like you did. Sektar stared at him with wide, terrified eyes. Do you only kill criminals? We try not to kill anyone if we can help it. But if someone is hurting innocent people, we stop them. Sometimes that means using force. But the galaxy teaches that all violence is wrong. Violence only creates more violence. Matt shook his head. Sometimes violence is the only thing that stops worse violence. Those research scientists you were attacking couldn't defend themselves. Someone had to protect them. For the first time since his capture, Sektar looked confused instead of terrified. You risk your lives to protect strangers? It's what humans do, Matt said simply, back on the bridge. Captain Veltar stood next to Commander Lisa Hayes as they watched the Iron Volf's crew repair the gentle current. Human engineers worked alongside Zephyrian technicians, and the differences were obvious. Your people work so fast, Veltar observed. And they improvise solutions we never would have thought of. Lisa nodded. When your home planet is constantly trying to kill you, you learn to fix things quickly with whatever you have available. Commander Hayes, Veltar said quietly, what will happen when the galaxy learns that humans are real? That Earth is not a dead world but the home of a spacefaring species? Lisa looked out at the stars. I don't know, Captain. But I think it's time the galaxy learned that being tough doesn't make you evil. Sometimes the strongest people are the ones who choose to protect the weak. As the repairs continued, both crews began to understand that they were witnessing something historic. The galaxy's assumptions about Deathworld species were about to be challenged by the reality of human nature. The news traveled fast through the galactic communication networks. Within 6 hours of the Iron Volf's encounter with the Krathan Raiders, every major species in the galaxy knew the truth. Humans were real, and they had just saved a Zephyrian research vessel. Admiral Kethmorin of the Centauri peacekeeping fleet received the emergency message while his ships were still 2 days away from the distress signal location. The tall, blue-skinned Centauri read the report 3 times before. He believed it. Impossible, he muttered to his bridge crew. Earth species cannot exist. The planet is classified as uninhabitable. His communications officer, a nervous Rigelian with 6 arms, looked up from her station. Admiral Captain Valtar's message includes sensor logs and video recordings. The human ship appears to be real. Kethmorin studied the tactical data from the battle. 3 Krathan raiders destroyed in under 2 minutes. weapons that move faster than energy beams, a ship that outrun antimatter drives using primitive fusion engines. Either this was an elaborate hoax, or everything the galaxy believed about Deathworld species was wrong. Set course for the Kepler 442 system, Kethmorin ordered. Maximum speed, and send a priority message to the Galactic Council. Tell them, we may have a situation. When the Centauri fleet finally arrived at the gas giant, they found the Iron Wolf and the Gentle Current docked together. Human and Zephyrian crews worked side by side, repairing damage and sharing technology. The sight made Kethmorin's stomach twist with worry. Admiral, his tactical officer reported, the human ship is scanning us. Their sensors are more powerful than anything in our database. Kethmorin opened a communication channel. Human vessel. Iron Wolf. This is Admiral Kethmorin of the Centauri Peacekeeping Fleet. We received reports of criminal activity in this system. Commander Lisa Hayes appeared on the main screen, and Kethmorin got his first look at a real human. She was smaller than he expected, but something about her eyes made him nervous. They were the eyes of a predator, alert and calculating. Admiral Kethmorin, Lisa said with a smile, we've been expecting you. The criminal activity has been dealt with? We disabled 2 raider ships and their crews are in our brig. The 3rd ship was destroyed when it refused to surrender. UDOT destroyed a Krathan raider ship. They were attacking innocent civilians. We stopped them. Kethmorin's hands shook as he reviewed the sensor logs. The human weapons had punched clean through Krathan shields and armor. Weapons that powerful could threaten even Council capital ships. Commander Hayes, the Galactic Council would like to invite you to Harmony Station for formal first contact negotiations. Lisa's smile grew wider, and somehow that made Kethmorin even more nervous. We'd be honored to accept. 3 days later, the Iron Wolf docked at Harmony Station, the galaxy's capital and center of government. The massive space station housed representatives from dozens of species, all of whom had gathered to see the impossible humans in person. Diplomat Kelly Martinez led the human delegation as they walked through the station's main corridors. She was a calm, professional woman in her 40s, but every alien they passed seemed terrified of her. Behind her walked Marine Colonel Dan Foster, a large man whose presence made several aliens faint outright. Dr. Susan Wright, a xenobiologist, brought up the rear, taking notes on everything she saw. This is incredible, Susan whispered to Kelly. Look at how they built this place. Everything is designed for low gravity and delicate beings. The station's corridors were wide and filled with soft cushions instead of hard benches. The walls were curved to prevent sharp edges. Even the lighting was gentle and warm, nothing like the bright, efficient lights humans preferred. Their first official meeting was in the Council's main chamber, a huge room filled with representatives from 47 different species. Kelly had studied the files on each race, but seeing them in person was overwhelming. Some looked like giant insects, others like living crystals, and a few seemed to be made of pure energy. Council leader Morgeth, an ancient being that looked like a walking tree, spoke first. Humans of Earth, we welcome you to Harmony Station. We have many questions about your species and your homeworld. We're happy to answer them, Kelly replied. But first, we'd like to thank you for your hospitality. It's an honor to meet so many different peoples. The questions started simple. What was Earth like? How many humans lived there? What kind of government did they have? Kelly answered carefully, trying not to alarm anyone, but then Dr. Susan Wright made a mistake. One thing that might interest you, she said to a group of Zephyrian scientists, is how similar human and alien biology can be. We found that many Earth animals have traits that remind us of your different species. A rabbit-like alien named Hapara leaned forward with interest. Really? What kind of animals? Well, you Zephyrians remind me of deer from Earth, graceful, gentle creatures that live in peaceful herds. The aliens around the table looked pleased. Then Susan continued, of course, deer are prey animals on Earth. They're hunted by wolves, bears, and big cats. Humans used to hunt them too before we developed agriculture. The room went silent. Several aliens looked sick. Hunted your planet's gentle creatures? Hapara asked in a tiny voice. Only for food and only when we needed to survive. Susan said quickly, humans are omnivores. We eat both plants and meat. A crystalline being called Shimrock spoke up. What about the predators? The wolves and bears you mentioned? Oh, those are some of my favorite Earth animals, Susan said with enthusiasm. Wolves are incredibly intelligent pack hunters. They can bring down prey much larger than themselves through teamwork. Bears are amazing too. They can weigh over 800 pounds and run faster than most humans. 3 aliens fainted. 2 more had to be helped from the room. Colonel Dan Foster tried to help. Dr. Wright is making them sound scarier than they are. Humans domesticated wolves thousands of years ago. We turned them into dogs, friendly pets that live in our homes with our children. The remaining aliens stared at him in horror. You live with tamed predators? Morgeth asked, his voice shaking. Dogs aren't predators anymore, Don explained. Well, most of them aren't. We bred them to be companions. They're loyal, loving animals that protect human families. You bred apex predators to serve you? A squid-like alien named Inkar backed away from the table. How is that possible? Kelly Martinez realized the conversation was going badly. Perhaps we should discuss Earth's wildlife another time. Right now, we'd like to learn more about galactic civilization? But Admiral Kethmoran had one more question. Commander Hayes mentioned that your people protect the innocent. Is this a cultural trait or something deeper? Kelly thought carefully before answering. Humans believe that those who are strong have a responsibility to protect those who are weak. It's one of our most basic values. But you come from a world of predators and violence, Morgeth said. How did you develop such peaceful ideals? Maybe because we know what violence really costs, Kelly replied. When you've seen how much damage fighting can do, you appreciate peace more. And when you're strong enough to choose between hurting people and helping them, helping feels better. The council chamber remained quiet for a long time. Finally, Morgeth spoke. Humans of Earth, you have given us much to think about. We will need time to discuss what your presence means for galactic civilization. As the humans left the chamber, they could hear excited and worried conversations breaking out behind them. The galaxy was about to change, and nobody knew exactly how. The emergency session of the Galactic Council lasted for 3 days. Representatives from 47 species argued, debated, and worried about what to do with the humans. Some wanted them declared a threat to galactic peace. Others saw them as potential saviors from the growing raider problem that plagued the outer systems. Council leader Morgeth listened to every opinion before calling for silence. We face a decision that will shape the galaxy's future. The humans have shown both incredible destructive power and a desire to protect the innocent. The question is, can we trust them? Admiral Zexler of the Hegemony War Fleet stood to speak. He was a massive, armor-plated being from one of the galaxy's few military species. These humans are dangerous beyond measure. Their weapons can destroy our best ships. Their world has made them into perfect killers. We should contain them before they decide to conquer us all. A murmur of agreement came from several militaristic species. But Captain Veltar rose from his seat, his thin frame shaking with emotion. With respect, Admiral, you are wrong, Veltar said. The humans saved my crew when no one else could. They risked their lives for strangers they had never met. They chose to protect the weak when they could have chosen to dominate them. Dr. Harish, a brilliant scientist from the Crystal Worlds, added her voice. The humans have also shared their technology freely. Their fusion drive improvements could revolutionize galactic travel. Their medical techniques have already saved lives that our doctors couldn't help. The debate might have continued for weeks, but it was interrupted by an emergency alarm. The station's communication center received a desperate distress call from the Harmony trade route, one of the galaxy's busiest shipping lanes. Multiple raider attacks in progress, the message reported. 7 cargo ships under assault. The Krathen have formed a large fleet. Peacekeeping forces are outnumbered 3-1. Request immediate assistance. Admiral Kethmoran stood up, his blue face pale with worry. Our nearest fleet is 6 hours away. By then, the cargo ships will be captured or destroyed. Commander Lisa Hayes, who had been quietly observing the debates, spoke up. The Iron Wolf can be there in 90 minutes. One ship against a Krathen fleet? Admiral Zexler laughed harshly. Even humans cannot work miracles, Lisa smiled. Want to bet? An hour later, the Iron Wolf dropped out of faster-than-light speed near the Harmony trade route. What they found was chaos. 12 Krathen raider ships were attacking a convoy of cargo vessels. The alien ships were slow and helpless, their crews screaming for help over the radio. Jake, tactical report, Lisa ordered. Jake Morrison studied his displays with calm focus. 12 raiders in a spread formation. They're using the cargo ships as shields, hiding behind them so the peacekeeping fleet can't shoot without risking the civilians. Amy Foster checked her weapons. Clever tactics. Too bad they don't know what they're dealing with. The Krathen fleet leader opened a communication channel. Unknown vessel, withdraw immediately or be destroyed. We have claimed these ships as salvage. This is Commander Lisa Hayes of the Earth vessel Iron Wolf. Release the cargo ships and surrender, or face the consequences. Harsh laughter filled the channel. 1 ship against 12? You humans really are insane. What happened next became legend throughout the galaxy. The Iron Wolf didn't charge into battle like most warships. Instead, it moved with surgical precision. The ship's computer calculated the exact position of each raider relative to the cargo vessels. Amy Foster targeted specific systems on each raider ship: engines, weapons, life support, with shots that would disable but not destroy. The first railgun volley crippled 4 raiders simultaneously. The tungsten rounds passed within meters of the cargo ships without touching them. The second volley disabled 3 more raiders and severed the tractor beams. Holding 2 cargo vessels, the remaining Krathen raiders tried to retreat, but human targeting computers tracked them effortlessly. Within 5 minutes, the entire Krathen fleet was drifting helplessly in space. Their crews alive, but their ships powerless. The cargo ship captains, representing 6 different species, broadcast their thanks over every frequency. The peacekeeping fleet arrived to find the battle already over and the trade route secure. Back on Harmony Station, the rescue was broadcast live to the Galactic Council. The representatives watched in amazement as the humans had solved a problem that would have taken the combined fleet's hours to handle. Young Luke Anderson, one of the Iron Wolf's engineers, provided the final proof of human capabilities. When the rescued cargo ships docked at Harmony Station, one of them had critical life support problems that the station's best technicians couldn't fix. Luke looked at the alien machinery for 10 minutes, then started pulling apart systems that the alien said were impossible to repair. Using spare parts from 3 different ships and tools he improvised from scrap metal, he rebuilt the life support system in 2 hours. How did you know how to do that? Asked Chief Engineer Nixara. From the Gentle Current. Our technical manual said those components were incompatible. Luke scratched his head. Well, they are incompatible the way they were designed. But if you bypass the safety systems and reroute the power through the backup circuits, they work. Fine, it's not pretty, but it'll keep you breathing. You disabled the safety systems? Nixara looked horrified. Just the ones that were stopping the machine from working. The important safety stuff is still running. Dr. Susan Wright, who was watching the repair work, realized something important. Luke, how did you learn to do this? Growing up on Earth, Luke replied. When something breaks on Earth, you fix it with whatever you have. You don't have time to wait for the right parts when a storm is coming or your crops are dying. That evening, the Galactic Council reached its final decision. Council leader Morgeth announced the result to the assembled representatives. The humans have proven themselves to be protectors, not conquerors. They have shown us that strength can serve peace, and that survival skills can become tools for helping others. We hereby invite humanity to join the Galactic Council as a full member species. The vote was unanimous. Admiral Kethmoran was chosen to deliver the Council's final report on the human situation. His words would be studied by historians for generations. We sent out a distress signal expecting rescue from our own kind. Instead, we discovered that the galaxy's most capable species has been our neighbor all along. The humans are not the violent savages we feared, but neither are they the gentle beings we thought civilized species should be. They are something new, people strong enough to choose kindness, tough enough to protect the weak, and smart enough to solve problems we thought were impossible. The question is no longer whether we can coexist with the Deathworlders. The question is whether we can learn from them before the next crisis comes. As the ceremony ended, dozens of species quietly submitted requests for human protection from raiders. Research stations asked for human engineers to solve technical problems. Trade guilds requested human escorts for their cargo ships. The galaxy had spent thousands of years believing that peace required weakness, that civilization meant avoiding all conflict. The humans had shown them a different path, that sometimes the strongest people were the ones who chose to protect others, and that surviving on a dangerous world could teach lessons that helped everyone. Earth was no longer classified as a dead world. It was now listed in galactic databases as the home of humanity's greatest export, hope.